Welcome back to CryptoBanter.com. And if you've just joined us, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because this is the segment that you've all been waiting for. I know that because I've been watching the chat. This is the segment that we're famous for. We're famous for our segments on small cap hunting. Yep, we go out there and we look for the coins that have a market cap of under 10 or $20 million and we think are going to explode. And we try and find them for you before they explode. And we try and bring them to our show. And if not to our show, certainly to our Telegram group. And over the past couple of weeks, we've been looking into a protocol, an Oracle protocol, which is called Bird.Money. Now, what we've done is we posted this on our Telegram group very early. We posted it at about $4 or $5. It's since at about $30. And because we've had such an amazing performance on the group, what I want to do is I actually want to get one of the developers from Bird.Money on the show. And I've got D.A. Kirby with me. Welcome to Crypto Banter.
Hi, it's great to be here. Thanks.
Listen, you guys are a small project, but you've got a vibrant community. I must tell you, they have been hitting our chat. They've been spamming our chat. So if your community is out there, please tell them, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because you know why? When you do that, then it actually sends this content to more people who are interested in crypto. And then that shows your project to more people that are interested in crypto. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You didn't hear it from me. Kirby, tell them, man.
Hit the like button and hit subscribe.
Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell. Now, let's talk about the project. So the project is called Bird.Money. It came up in our small cap alert. We were alerted to this Oracle project back in the day, but maybe you can better explain what Bird.Money is.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be happy to. So what makes us unique is that we're like any other lending platform, compound or have a but with an addition of off-chain Oracle analytics, which is essentially, if you know about an Oracle, it takes off-world data and puts it on a blockchain. So what we want to do is look at real-world data, such as an economic crisis, a pandemic, or government policies. And combining that with an address's history, we then assign a trust score to that address. I mentioned those other two protocols for lending, and they sort of use a level playing field for all the addresses. So everyone has the same access to credit. With the same collateral, you could have 10 ETH and get a specific loan, and that'll be the same even if you had no transaction history except for the one transaction which was receiving that ETH, right? But what we're doing is we're looking at history associated with the address and those off-chain real-world events, and we are combining them into a trust score. And some people have sort of used an analogy that we're looking at sort of credit scores. It's almost the same, but we are going to be much more decentralized than your standard Experian or other credit score providers. We're looking at a trust network, which will be a decentralized version of our Oracle. But yeah, I think that kind of explains it quite well. We're looking at address history. You can input an address right now. You can go to app.bird.money and copy and paste any address to see the trust score right now.
All right, and when you look at that trust score, what exactly is that trust score made up of? Because I guess, if you are creating, and again, I don't want to use this, but you used it, so I think I'm going to have to carry on going with it. But if you are creating a credit score, I much prefer trust score because I think that's what's needed. But if you are looking at a trust score, what is it that's actually building up this trust? What kind of data is your Oracle looking at?
So that's a really good question. It's a very complex algorithm. We are looking at various history associated with the address. So we kind of have sort of factors that increase a good score and factors that increase a bad score. So a bad score, if you think about it, it's going to be an address that's involved in rug pulls, scams, various nefarious activity, hacking. If you're looking at tokens like USDC, they have a blacklist address list. So essentially, we're going to be looking at those blacklist addresses and giving them really bad scores. And then good scores are addresses that have previously taken crypto loans and then paid them back successfully. And in that way, those good scores can be built up and up and up until you can really get a much better loan for your collateral. And that's going to be our native token. Bird is going to be paid out as that extra loan. So you're going to get the same collateral, but then you're also going to get loads of Bird tokens on top of that loan for the same collateral if you've got that good score. But again, the algorithm is being refined constantly, and we are always looking at ways to improve it. So it's definitely a work in progress.
So am I right in saying that actually, and I'm going to get into token in a few seconds, but I just want to make sure we understand the fundamentals. What you're doing is you're analyzing all these addresses that are involved in DeFi, and you're looking at their behavior. You're looking at external You're looking at external sources or external oracles of data that show you if there's been problems with the address, if they've been involved in any frauds, blacklisted accounts, etc., etc. And then you're creating a trust score. Now, what I'm trying to understand here is Bird.Money or the Bird protocol. Is it the Oracle protocol or is it the lending protocol? What are people buying when they buy into Bird?
So our lending platform is essentially our own version of other platforms that will also utilize Bird. Okay, so other platforms can act in our trust network as data consumers or data providers, and data consumers will access that trust score that we give, or rather the data providers give. So it's both. Essentially, our lending platform can be used for, end users taking out loans, but also we're looking at partnerships with lots of different projects. So we're open to collaboration. We're not looking to compete with these other platforms, and we basically want to say, look, we can provide you this data, and then if you can give us more data in return about other users or other information, then that's great. And we're always looking at more collaboration. So if you're out there and you've got a lending platform, or if you're a private institution, we're really interested in speaking to you. You can get in touch on Telegram and Discord, and email me, alex.kirby@Bird.Money.
Are you at any point going to integrate identity into this? So actually link an address to an identity? Are you only working on addresses? Are you only working on the actual data, blind data?
That's a great question. We're looking at on-chain KYC. Nothing confirmed yet, though. At the end of the day, we hope that we can get that sort of digital ID associated with the address. That trust score could essentially be all you need, and then we wouldn't need to KYC people, which would be great. I think KYC is kind of, it's needed for regulatory compliance, but at the same time, it's kind of detrimental to the crypto vision. But yeah, it's all a work in progress. Remember, we're only 2 months old. We're one of the lowest cap Oracle projects, as you said, so we're working on that.
We're going to talk about that in a second. Now, you mentioned one of the incentives, and I don't want to get too much into the tokenomics yet, but you mentioned that one of the incentives here is that if you do have a high trust score, you can take a bigger loan with less collateral, and you're going to get that bigger loan with additional Bird tokens. Now, if I do take this loan, but I don't take it on the Bird.finance protocol, I take it on another protocol that's using your Oracle in the backend, can I still get that benefit, or is that a benefit that's going to be unique to people who take loans on your specific lending platform?
Yeah, I think it's going to be unique to our lending platform. The idea is for other protocols, there'll be data consumers in our trust network. So essentially, we're looking at, you're going to need to either pay or be rewarded for using that network. And that's going to be the native token, hopefully. And that's coming Q1 2021. But for now, if you're going to be on another platform, that platform will be accessing our credit score, and hopefully then you'll get more money for your collateral on the other platform. It won't necessarily be in Bird tokens.
All right. So you mentioned that the team is you guys have been doing this for 2 months. Kind of sounds unbelievable. Who is the team? I know a lot of you guys decided to remain anonymous. In fact, I was surprised that when you came on and actually weren't that anonymous. Who is the team? How did you guys come together? How did you guys decide to solve this problem?
So I've been in crypto since the bubble of 2013, and I honestly just went to the Bird.Money Discord and applied in the hiring channel. So I'm sort of the advisor for business development. The actual devs, the guys who own the private keys, decided to remain anonymous, and I think that's probably for a good reason. At this stage, at least, I think maybe in the future it might change, but for now, a lot like another crypto project I can think of that's doing something similar. A lot of crypto projects do this, so I think that's kind of fair enough. If you really think about it, they don't want a gun in their face.
Yeah, I think there is, but there's also that balance between having a face and especially if you're running a lending protocol, not being rug pulled or something along those lines. And I'm glad that you came on. Obviously, I know that you can't share much about it, but how did these guys get together? Did these guys get together 2 months ago?
No. So there's a lot of history to the project. I believe it's more than a year that they've been really developing it, and it's only been sort of public in the last 2 months because there's not any other crypto project that's doing this right now, and they wanted to keep that sort of first mover advantage. They wanted to keep it secret until they were ready to release stuff. So that's probably a really good reason that they did that. But yeah, there's a handful of devs, I think up to 6, and I think half of us are doxed, as you could say. Half of us aren't anonymous, but the other half are, and I think that's completely okay.
Yeah, so I must say, I think in this industry with the lack of regulation and, like you say, guns to their faces and stuff like that, we've got to be very, very careful. All right, so you're saying that there is a launch coming up pretty soon. I've also noticed on your website that there's a launch coming up apparently sometime in December, I think. Where are we on the roadmap? What can we expect to see from you guys? When can we expect to see it?
So I was going to leave the announcement, or rather the announcements, until the end of the segment. But if you want to ask about it now, I can go for it. So
go for it.
Yeah, why not? We've revised the timeline for farming to Q1 2021. And that was rather than this quarter, Q4 2020. And that's because we just wanted to focus on our core proposition, which is the off-chain analytics and our lending platform. So the farming that we didn't really want to do staking for the sake of doing staking. We didn't want to destroy the value of the token by massively inflating the circulating supply. We're looking at doing inflation-free staking, and we need a bit more time to do that, as well as releasing what we're releasing now. But today, I'm pleased to announce that we are launching our off-chain Oracle Analytics, and additionally a beta version of that lending platform. And both of those are on the Kovan testnet, and they're going to be released on the mainnet next quarter. And then again, the trust network that I mentioned, the decentralized version of our oracles, that will be also next quarter. So in the next 3 months, pretty much everything that we've got in our core proposition will be out.
All right. So if people that are watching the show want to see what you guys are launching today or launching now, where can they go? Where do they find all this information?
Also, alongside this, if people aren't watching this video, we're also releasing on all our socials, probably as I'm speaking now, all this information. There'll be videos coming. There'll be links to where you can access this stuff. Again, Kovan testnet for now, and you'll be using, all the testnet tokens. But at the same time, it's great to see this because it's really going to show people that we're working with serious business.
Let's talk about funding. So how much money has this, you mentioned that the project, the guys came together about a year ago. You've gone more public about 2 months ago. How much funding was raised? Where was it raised from? Our community wants to ensure that they understand exactly where the funding's come from so they don't get rained on. Give us a little bit of background there.
Yeah, that's fine. So we had a pre-sale. But at the same time, as you mentioned quite rightly, we have anonymous devs. That's going to concern some people, but we have liquidity locked, tokens locked for up to 5 years, and we're also looking at maybe relocking the tokens that are coming up in the next year. So we're locking all of our tokens for now, and we've got enough funding to keep us going. The other thing is that we're looking at partnerships with, I can't name drop, but like you were pressurizing the last guy for a name.
I'm going to pressure you because I want the names. Our community here goes crazy for the names. So
well, I can say I've been speaking to people. We've been speaking to various crypto projects. We've got a few financial institutions. If you look at a DeFi project that's paying their employees with crypto, you could see the synergy there because that payment, that regular payment to the ETH address, that's going to increase the trust score. Just like a salary to your bank account increases your credit score, our trust score will be increased by those sort of things. So we've been reached out to by a lot of different projects, and there's a lot of interest.
How reliable is this? I mean, how do you know whether this is reliable? You're playing with data that is incomplete. You're playing with data that is usually anonymous. And I know that on paper, it sounds great to have an online or a blockchain related credit score, but how reliable is this metric? Have you tested it? Have you back tested it against anything?
Oh yeah. So as I said, they've been in development with this sort of thing for 9 months to a year. And
so when I look at the token, if I remember correctly, in fact, I actually want to call this up and get this up onto my screen. It'll take me a second.
Yeah, go for it.
Also, because there's a lot of confusion because they're two Bird protocols. So we are looking at the Bird.Money, not the Bird chain protocol. Every time I post it in my Telegram group, people say, oh, is it Bird chain or Bird.Money? We are looking at Bird.Money.
Yeah.
Don't make the mistake, guys. Some people have made the mistake, unfortunately. Let me just try and share my screen. All right, so I'm going to share it here so we can both see it. There we go. So the token is now trading at 32.82, which is, of course, it's gone up 30% today, and that's, of course, the crypto banter effect. People know that you're going to be on crypto banter, and this is what happens. It's happened to a lot of the tokens that have been on our show. Market cap $2.5 million, circulating supply about 78,000 tokens, total supply 140,000 tokens.
Yeah, so the tokenomics there, you can see that's correct. So CoinGecko are completely up to date. That's perfect. Most of the locked tokens, most of those total supply you can see is locked. Team tokens, locked liquidity, and just token reservations for development and ongoing support that we'll need for the next decade. But yeah, that's all correct. And at the moment, you can go onto Unicrypt and see when the token release for the liquidity and the token release for the team is all coming out. Token visibility is all there, so it's all completely there. As I said, all the dates are visible, and I also mentioned that we're looking to relock those tokens. But for now, the value proposition in Bird really lies in our trust network. As I said, data consumers will have to pay, and data providers will earn Bird tokens, and we're also looking at a governance solution for the system. So although we've got these anonymous devs right now, we're looking to burn the keys and move everything over to a council based on a governance system. So that's all coming next year, maybe. We'll see when that's out.
You've got a very low number of tokens. Maybe just talk us through the tokenomics. I'm going to try and pull that up onto. I take it that the tokenomics on the Bird.Money website are the right tokenomics and the most updated tokenomics, right?
Yeah. If you bring that up, there's a pie chart, I believe, and you can have a look at the exact breakdown. Yeah, bring it up. That's great.
I guess it is that we are looking at.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
All right. So that's, I guess this is what we're talking about, the 140,000 Bird, right? You had a big token burn, right?
That's right. So I think it was because our pre-sale wasn't sold out. We just decided to burn lots and bring that circulating supply all the way down. So now that's all correct. What you're seeing there, the new max supply, 140,000 Bird, quite a low supply, and the price is kind of, I don't know if it reflects it so well right now. I can't say too much on this, but it seems like we could see some price appreciation just because of the scarcity of the token. It's very scarce.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a project that has a $2.5 million market cap, and on a fully diluted basis has a $5 million market cap. Now, if you guys are really solving the same the problem that you say you're solving, which is a trust score, and you're running a protocol, an Oracle protocol, and you're running your own site, to me, that sounds like if you do get this right, then the valuation of the token metric is very wrong. I'm seeing some things in the chat here saying Bird is a chain link killer. I mean, is there any way that you compete with Chainlink? Are you even trying to compete with Chainlink?
As I said, we don't want to see ourselves as competing. We want to see ourselves as collaborating. Okay, so that's the most important thing to us, is we don't want to kill anything. Chainlink's great, it's important, and I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for partnerships there. There are some Oracle projects which are much higher cap that we're speaking.
Many oracles. I mean, there's a big play in oracles, but I guess each oracle is kind of positioning themselves in a different place. I know the Chainlink project pretty well, and I don't see where they compete with you guys, or I see a tiny overlap.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's not much of an overlap there, but as long as we've got oracles, if you go onto the website now, you can see that we've integrated Chainlink. So you can see how you would use our oracles in a Chainlink environment, and that's all visible already. So you can read the code there. And we're looking at all these different projects, not just Chainlink, but loads of different other Oracle solutions to see where we can fit in. And as I said, if you're out there and you own a Oracle project and you're interested in collaboration, just reach out to us. And I'm one of the business development guys, so just reach out to me. My handle's right there, the Telegram handle for myself. So just talk to me, and we can set up a call. As I said, I've been speaking to a lot of people already. There's a lot of interest.
All right. The devs, how many devs are there full time? How many people are working on this project? Give us an idea for the scale of this team. Is this like a 1-man or 10-man show? Give us just a feel. I know they've decided to remain anonymous, and so they're not published anywhere. But I mean, is this a force to be reckoned with, or are these three guys sitting in someone's garage?
No, so obviously at the early stages, it's not going to be huge. And the other thing is that there's no company behind it. A lot of these projects, these crypto projects, they've got a company. And the thing is that we're looking at, you know, a group of guys that had an idea and they put it together and look at us now. I mean, I'm speaking to you and we've been speaking to a lot of people. So we've got Simba, that's a lead dev. We've got Bird that's a lead dev. We've got No One, who's another sort of dev there and sort of a designer. We've got Zazu, who's another developer. Leo, who's a blockchain software engineer. This is all on the website. I've literally just got it up here. I've just been reading it on the website. If you just scroll all the way down, the whole team's there right now.
A lot of people.
Various ways to find us if we're anonymous, if we're not.
A lot of people from the Lion King here. All right, if people want more information and they want to know what's going on with the project, I guess Telegram is the place to go, or where would you recommend people go? Telegram, Twitter, what's your handle?
We've got a Telegram community, which is absolutely great. I'll shout out to them now. We've got a price talk community there where we can talk about the price. We like to keep them separate. So there's two different places on Telegram to talk about that. We've got the live trades feed as well on there. The other thing is Discord, which is less active than Telegram, which is often the way in crypto, but we've also got Twitter, which is a really, you know, everything comes out at the same time on all the platforms. So no matter where you are, you'll be updated all the time. We've got some great PR opportunities potentially where we're going to talk to a lot more places, have a lot more outlets basically, and maybe some more Ask Me Anythings in the new year. So lots of information available.
Yeah, lots going on, and also a very, very vibrant community. I think one of the things that I've really noticed about the Bird community is these guys are there. These guys are engaged. These guys know the roadmap. These guys keep the team in check. I've seen them keep them in check. You said you're going to launch.
Yeah, they ask great questions. They're from all over the world, and it's all organic right now. You know, it's completely organic growth, which is amazing.
All right, so this is, again, this is one of our small cap gems, and I must state for the people watching the show, small caps have a much higher risk profile. Yes, of course, they can 100x, and we think that some of them will, but there is a much higher risk here. You've got to do your own research before you buy this. And again, another disclaimer is that I am a holder of Bird. I've been buying Bird since I discovered it at around $5. So yes, do your own research. All I can say to you is that I have bought, and like everything else, which I recommend on the show, if I do sell for any reason, I'll publish my sell and also publish a reason for my sell. Thank you so much for coming on CryptoBanter.com. Looking forward to having you here again. And again, when you launch stuff, be in touch with us. Let us be the first to know. Let us disseminate that content for you. Yeah,
for sure. And thanks so much for having us. Maybe we can come back again soon.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. And that, of course, is our small cap section for today. It's our small cap gem section for today. I've got an amazing segment coming up after the break. I'm going to talk to Mike Picello, who is from Block Tower Capital, and we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, but we're not going to be talking about price. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin beyond the price. But just before I do that, I want to send you guys over to Adrian Bashuk. Adrian Bashuk is my producer. He produced my CNBC show. He's producing this show for me, and he is a guy that is on the social airways all day, every day. He has his finger on the pulse. Often he tells me where to get these small caps because he knows what's going on. And he does this because he looks at all the socials. So Adrian, I'm going to hand it over to you, and then I'm going to be back for a big segment with Mike Picello just after the break.
How's it going, Ran? You take a break, and we're going to look at some interesting projects making news, making headlines. I want to highlight you guys in the comments because you guys make this station. You're looking at Bitcoin at all-time highs. You're looking at XRP trailing off of exchanges, getting delisted. So, and ETH kind of hovering in the $700 range. Some people in the comments are calling for, ETH 2000 by February. But then Harris talking about, ETH sitting at 730 for ages. So let's take a look at some projects making headlines, making news that are really potential moonshots. And if you look at the PolkaStarter ecosystem as of this week, they're really taking off. Today, PolkaStarter, an incubated project, FeedMe, which is a gaming platform, had a public sale today. It was up 23x from the public sales. You can get in as a PolkaStarter holder. Polls rocketed up from 20 cents last week to 40 cents early in the week, and today is sitting at 65 cents. If you hold 1,000 polls, you can get in on these early Polka starter projects. The Seed Me just launching today. It came back down from its high right after launch once the pre-sailers sold off, and now there might be a good entry for some long-term gains on Exceed Me launching just today on Polka Starter. Then I'm not sure how many of you guys are in this seigniorage ecosystem of share, DSD, ESD. This is a really interesting but really complicated, complex DeFi ecosystem plays. You can bond into DSD and ESD. Again, it's somewhat complicated, but share, once it hit its bottom over the weekend, it kind of rocketed back up today. Some interesting stuff going on in that ecosystem. Do your own research. Fomosaurus tweeting, dynamic set dollar. If you're looking into it, seigniorage assets like ESD, DSD, kind of watch one of their videos and you can join the community of dynamic set dollar. Again, very complicated. Wouldn't recommend getting into it unless you really, really know your stuff. But
There we go, guys. Sorry, we had some sound issues there, long time sound issues. If you can see on the screenshot, we've been talking about some of these low cap gems that are really running. Look at Zenin. I'm going to go back up, and you can see that if you're following on Twitter, you can go to Redphone Crypto, who walks you through a lot of threads on low cap gems. And then to finish off, because we got ran back, 1 inch. If you got in on the 1 inch airdrop, that really ran up, fell off a cliff, maybe it bottomed, running back up. And to finish off 2021, a lot of people are talking about the NFT space really growing for next year. And you can look at some of these projects. Meme, OpenSea is allowing you to create your own NFTs. Terra Virtual, that we've talked about on the show. AnarchyX. Nerd Finance, allowing you to build NFTs. And Digicoal, which launched yesterday, a big Asia NFT platform. And there you have it.
Adrian, thank you so much. Looking forward to everything that's going on in the new year. Thank you for very, very much on behalf of me and the community for all you do for us and for all the nuggets and the amazing things that you bring us. Thank you.